Nostrdam is powered by Albi, Yakihona, and NextBlock.
So I've never actually done this type of talk before. This is an exclusive for you guys. And it's kind of like a deep dive into like all our software that we build. A lot of people think that Damus is just the iOS app, but there's probably like 8 pieces of software that kind of powers everything. So I'm going to go into that, and I'm also going to go into the future, what we're building in iOS, but also on the Android side, which a lot of people are excited about. I have a feeling a lot of people here are Android users, so hopefully you'll get excited about that. All right. So I'm going to start off with some of the software we've been building. You might not have even heard of any of these things, but so I think like a couple weeks ago, we launched this new relay. It's called Note Push. And it's actually, it's an Apple push notification service relay. So anytime you send a note to the relay, it'll send one to the Apple push notification service. We're probably going to expand this to the Google's push notification as well. The benefit of running one of the biggest relays is that we can, for the most part, we kind of assume that most people are going to send their notes to our relay. Like eventually we won't be able to do that. But for now, it's really convenient because we can just send out push notifications. So I think we probably have the best push notifications right now. And we're going to be using this for more things in the future, like remote signing. So yeah, if you haven't used Damus in a while, try it out. We have push notifications. A lot of people don't like them. That's fine. You don't have to turn them on, but I don't know, they're pretty cool. So this started. So I started creating a database from scratch in C because like that's what normal people do. And I realized that we need a custom database that's similar to SQLite, but that's custom specifically for Nostr. So how many devs are in the audience? Just so I don't need to get too technical. So there's like a few, yeah. But basically this is like a new database that you can embed into a Nostr application, a native Nostr application. So what I'm showing on the screen here is some of like the stats from, so this is actually built into Damus iOS today. So whenever you do the search on the timeline, we have a full text search, so it's all local. It works offline. I haven't fully integrated it all into Damus iOS yet, but this is the engine that powers NoteDeck, which I'm going to talk about later. Sorry? This literally all it does is just ingest and verify events in a multi-threaded way. So it does really fast deduplication stuff. So it's a very efficient database for Nostr nodes, which is important on mobile because you care about battery life and things like that. So what else? That took me like a year to build, and I was like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun, but it's the same technology. It's basically, if anyone knows Stirfry, it's like I just copied Stirfry because Stirfry is the best database ever. I just wanted something that could embed into an app. So one big aspect that I've been working on in NostrDB is this idea of a Nostr script. So if you ever run the Damus Zap script, which enables Zaps, it is actually a small WebAssembly program. It's like a sandboxed portable binary executable that runs within Damus iOS. I'm only using it for one thing right now, which is to turn on Zaps, which is Apple technically would ban me for that, but they don't know about it yet. But I'm also planning to use it for custom algorithm feeds. Everyone talks about DVMs. I am not personally that excited about DVMs because DVMs are the result of an algorithm, right? That someone else is doing. I want something where I can like have a portable binary executable that I can run on my device locally, even offline, and it can produce the results of a DVM. But I think these DVMs and Nostr scripts are going to kind of be like hand in hand. They'll work together. Maybe Nostr scripts will produce DVMs and whatnot. But I'm just basically adding more powerful capabilities to the NostrDB engine. So stay tuned for that. This is gonna be a lot of fun. That feature. Another cool thing we've been building is something called NoteGuard. So NoteGuard it actually stands in front of the Damus relay, and it does things like rate limiting. I think I was almost stopping the reply guy on our relay, but they were still spamming at least. So we allow only 6 notes to be written per minute, but they were still writing it every 6 times per minute. So so this is per IP. So this is one of the filters. So you'll see on the screen here that there's different types of filters. There's whitelist filters. There's rate limit filters, which is per IP. So if you're just like a single machine that's spamming our server, you can't write more than 6 times per minute, which actually stops a lot of spam. If I didn't have that, my drive would just fill up and the Damus relay would be dead. So yeah, it's all, as you can see, like it's written in Rust. A lot of our stuff is written in Rust. And so use that if you want it. If you have a Stirfry server, try out NoteGuard. It's really cool. Another thing is note crumbs. A lot of people didn't realize I basically did this over a weekend on the holidays, and so it's kind of not really complete, but it's really cool. So whenever you paste a Damus IO link, oh shoot, I had photos that worked. Hold on. Anyway, I had photos for it, but anytime you paste a link, you'll see this little open graph preview. So if you like send someone a Damus IO link on Messenger or on even if you post on Twitter, you'll actually see a preview of the note, which is really this is something I talked to Jack Dorsey, and he really recommended that this is one of the most important things in Nostr, which is to try to bring more people into the network and making it easier to share links. So that's why I built this. It's still very early. I need to make that better. So that's like a quick overview on like kind of some of the things in terms of backend software that we've been building. But in terms of iOS, what we're working on right now, which is like currently on our sprint. So I have a employee, Daniel. He works part-time, and he's working on this right now. I'll show you the design of it. Oh, wait, the images are working now. Okay. Anyway, so you see here's an example from Signal where Vanessa every now and then she sends me links of stuff on Nostr, so I can kind of preview it inside of the app. You can also share notes to your reminders app to see previews of it and things like that. And if you don't have iOS, there's a web fallback. I mean, a lot of people just use the primal links, but eventually I'm going to make these as good as the primal links. So yeah, on Damus iOS side, we've been working on lists. I'm basically just going to copy Twitter's design. I really like Twitter's design. It's simple. You pin lists. I have one small difference is that we have a default list type called favorite. So if you go to a user's page and click the favorite button, it just creates like a favorite list automatically. Because I realize this is the way that most people use lists. A lot of people don't create lots of lists. They have a few people they want to follow and keep track of what they're posting. So we have like a quick way to doing that. And then you can pin the notes and they show up as tabs just like on Twitter. So we're working on that right now. So this is something we designed really early on, and then Apple kind of fucked us over. So we never ended up going with it. But recently I think on Geyser Fund, there was like a project they had to take down due to government request. And so like these like centralization risks of these of some of these platforms are a real concern. So I think Zaps can have a huge impact here. And it's actually just a design thing. It doesn't require any protocol changes for the most part. I think we have like one thing we add to the note. It's just a different way of displaying the Zaps on a note. So all you have to do is set like a goal, and then any Zaps that come in, we can just count it and increase like a bar. And so this is a great way to do fundraisers. So hopefully that will increase zapping. So we're probably, even though it's technically not allowed, I'm just gonna do it anyway because I don't care at this point. I'm at the point now where it's like I'm starting to build another client that works on all platforms. So like I really don't give a shit what Apple says I'm not allowed to do, because it's not going to matter. So this is what I've been working on the past year. It's called NoteDeck. I have a demo on this laptop if anyone wants to try it out. It's basically, has anyone ever used TweetDeck, which is like the way I use Twitter? I just basically wanted to create a version of that. This is actually a mock-up, but like now it literally looks like that. I think I have it here. Switch to it. Oh, I didn't launch it. One sec. So it looks. I launched a lot of columns. Anyway, so there's a lot of columns here, but it's super fast. It works offline, and it's not based off web tech. It's all native code. It works on all platforms. It works on Android tablets, and eventually it's going to work on Android phones. But it's just a super fast native client. That's not based on the web, which I care about a lot because I hate the web and the web sucks. It's Rust. It's pure Rust code, and it renders directly to the graphics card. So there's no web technology. So yeah, it's called eGUI. The GUI. Yeah, eGUI. Yeah, I love eGUI. Immediate mode rendering is the best. So okay, go back. So we're launching this next month. Or at least the alpha. You're gonna be able to, if you go to the damus.io/NoteDeck, you can sign up for the waitlist, but it's very, very close. So NoteDeck is going to provide. My long-term goal of NoteDeck is to be the browser for Nostr, in the same sense that Chrome or Safari is like a browser for the web. So I've been starting to play with like different ways to like build different apps. So here's one of them. Let's play the video. So I realized that I have all of these profiles in the local database. So being able to visualize them and quickly seeing everyone who's talking, interacting would be a really cool feature. So imagine in this grid, you can see like circles around the profile pictures for people who have been posting recently. In the same sense on Instagram stories where, you can see what people are doing. We could basically do the same thing, but for the entire Nostr network. Another thing I want to do here is start to do some clustering. So imagine if there's people who talk to each other a lot, you can visually see different areas of like the Nostr metaverse or something, whatever you call it. And then imagine if you could circle a group of people and then instantly like create a list from that group of people. So I honestly think discoverability is really just a visualization issue. And I think we can fix it with the data, like Nostr data is not that big. Like the amount of profiles on my database is probably like, 10,000 profiles, 12,000. So like, it's not hard to visualize that, especially with this new platform. We're going to be able to do really cool visualizations using the graphics card. So yeah, again, what I was talking about, like I want to kind of experiment with more like non-linear, like more 2D rendering of stuff. So these are some brief notes that I've been thinking about. Here's another thing. I always wanted to bring like email to Nostr, but what is email? Email is just like a way of like, it's just a design problem, really. So this is just a picture of my inbox, the mail app on Mac OS. But this is all I want for Nostr. So my idea is, so I deal with this a lot on Nostr, where like I follow the Damus account on NodeTech. I follow the notification column, so I can see everyone who's like mentioning the Damus account. And a lot of the time, it's just like tech support issues. So what I would like to do is just take a thread and pin it into my notebook. I'm calling it. So notebook is literally just your inbox, and then in your notebook you can monitor updates to thread over time. In the same sense that in your email inbox you can archive stuff, and then if there's unread messages, it'll pop up. So really, again, that's actually not structurally different from what we're currently doing. It's just we have a little bit more state that's tracking read states and things like that. But for me, and then once you're done resolving the support ticket, you can just like archive the message, very much like an inbox. But it's an inbox that you control over, and no one can put stuff into that inbox unless you set up rules to like automatically allow people to put stuff into your notebook. So this might be another app in NodeDeck that I want to play with. Yeah, like there's so many things like this. There's like so many cool use cases that no one's really building. Everyone's still focused on like the microblogging, but come on, we can do some really cool things. And then the long-term plan is, there's these three categories that we've been thinking at Damus, which is Damus Social, Damus Work, and Damus Play. So maybe this is more in the Damus Work side of things. And then, maybe you have your own private set of relays for your company, and you have all these suite of tools like the notebook and then like a private social network for your company. And it's so, I don't know, I want to explore those ideas and maybe sell that as a product to businesses eventually. Yeah, eventually like businesses are going to have all these cool tools, and it's going to be stupid not to let take advantage of them and you can run all this on premises. You can have privacy and all that. I don't know. I think that's mostly it. That some of the things I've been working on. So yeah, that's Damus. Any questions?
Nostrdam is an initiative promoting the Nostr protocol by organizing one-day conferences alongside Bitcoin events, running booths, creating online content, and hosting meetups. Our goal is to connect developers and users to drive Nostr adoption.